Syria's interim president, Ahmed al-Sharaa, in a televised statement, accused Israel of seeking to provoke endless chaos in the country. Issuing a warning that Syrians are not afraid of the war, Ahmed al-Sharaa said that they prioritize the interests of the Syrians over destruction and chaos. The Syrian president's statement in the early hours of Thursday came after Israel's strikes in Damascus and days of sectarian violence. But why did Israel strike Syria? What's behind the fresh round of violence, and who are the Druze? Welcome to ThePrint. I am Kasturi Walimbe, and over the next few minutes, I will explain what is happening in Syria and why Israel is involved. First up, here's what happened over the last 2 days. On Wednesday, July 16, Israel claimed it struck Syrian military headquarters in Damascus, a military site near the presidential palace, weapon storage facilities in southern Syria, as well as some armored vehicles which were on their way to Suwayda. Why Suwayda? Now, Suweida is the province which has witnessed a fresh round of violence between Bedouin tribes and Druze militia since Sunday. The unrest began between the two groups and rapidly escalated, drawing in the country's government forces as well as Israel. The Syrian government yesterday announced a ceasefire in Suweida. Whether it will hold or how long it will hold for, we will have to wait and watch. So, how did the cycle of violence begin on Sunday? As per the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the violence began after a Druze man was attacked and robbed reportedly by some members of an armed Bedouin tribe. This fueled a series of attacks and kidnappings between the Bedouin groups and Druze militia. As the violence escalated, Syrian government forces were deployed. As per Syria's government, the forces were rushed to contain the violence. But Druze militia moved to battle with the government forces as they believed that the forces will aid Bedouins. Now, this is not without a reason. The several factions of the Druze in Syria have resisted attempts by the Ahmed al-Sharaa government to impose authority in southern Syria, this region where the community is mainly concentrated. I will tell you more about the Druze community in just a bit. Now, coming back to what happened on the ground, as violence in Suwayda escalated, Israel on Tuesday launched strikes against the Syrian government forces moving towards the province. Remember, Israel has vowed to protect the Druze in Syria. Netanyahu's office on Tuesday said, and I quote, Israel is committed to preventing harm to the Druze in Syria due to the deep brotherly alliance with our Druze citizens in Israel and their familial and historical ties to Druze in Syria. So, who are the Druze? Druze are an Arabic-speaking sect, are an ethno-religious minority, and are present in Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and the Golan Heights. They have their own beliefs. They do not permit any converts or intermarriage and practice an offshoot of the Shia Islam. From a total of around 1 million Druze who live in Syria, Lebanon, and Israel, half of them are in Syria. They are about 3% of Syria's total population. So, they are a minority in Syria. But in Suwayda province, which is located in the southern region of the country, the Druze form a majority. They are mainly concentrated in 3 provinces around Israel, occupied Golan Heights in South Syria. You can see the map on your screen. After the fall of Assad, there has been growing mistrust of the new government by the Druze. The Druze militia have resisted integration into the Syrian government's new national security forces. Their stand was not different earlier. Even during the civil war, the Druze operated their own militia in the southern region. As per the Israeli Central Bureau of Statistics, there are about 152,000 people of them in Israel and in Israel-occupied Golan Heights. So, why did Israel attack Syria? Mainly 2 reasons. Israel is seeking to create a demilitarized zone in the area, but this has been rejected by the Syrian government. Israel basically does not want Iran-backed militias or hostile Islamic militants to gain foothold in the region close to its northern border and along the Golan Heights. Remember, Suwayda, where the violence began, is also an extremely important province strategically. It falls on the border with Jordan and near Israel. Secondly, Israel's actions are also aimed at addressing concerns of some of the country's own Druze community. So, what happens next? The ceasefire as of now holds. There is no fresh violence that has been reported since it came into effect. But the developments of this week are likely to cast a shadow on efforts of normalization of ties between Syria and Israel. Remember, Shara's government has held talks with Israel in a move to ease tensions, and the Trump-led US government has been pushing for peace between Syria and Israel. In fact, the US has also recognized Shara's government in Syria and lifted the sanctions on the country which were imposed during the Assad era. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the US was very concerned and announced that specific steps were agreed upon to bring this troubling situation to an end. Israel, meanwhile, since the fall of Assad's regime in December, has escalated strikes in southern Syria. But in Syria, this fresh round of sectarian violence brings yet another challenge for its president, Sharaa. Can he reconcile the sectarian division in the country? And will this be the beginning of renewed attacks? Remains to be seen.